Welcome to Stars Podcast. Through self-defense, mixed martial arts, nutrition, family, and all things in between, we share our journey of how we hack our mind and body to get the maximum return out of each day. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy the journey. Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back, Stars Podcast. Ron Jordan over here coming at you with co-host
Aaron Diaz.
Aaron Diaz coming
What's
in.
What's up? GC
live,
Rican in the house.
live and in studio, brother. What's up? How you doing? He's late, by the way.
Yes. So,
It's all right. It was because it was Chelsea, so
yeah.
I'll allow it.
Shout out to my wife. Sometimes you gotta be able to give them some time, bro. That's how we make things work. We can't have anything without the other.
Yeah, no, that's why
the yin and the yang.
I have to skip jits tonight because we're having a family dinner.
Oh,
It's Holden's last day
that's right.
in town, so we're having lasagna, and we're going to have all the family over.
Had that last night. Yeah.
But in order for the timing to work, it has to be at 6 o'clock. Because I was like, well, why don't you just have it at 4? She's like, well, because people work, Ron.
It's just like a thing.
Yeah.
Thing people do.
6 o'clock makes more sense, and that's exactly the time that jiu-jitsu is. So I got to skip tonight. But that's okay.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Are you okay with it?
Yeah.
When it comes down to family,
and
bro.
You know why I'm like definitely okay with it? So Joe Steele.
Yeah.
Remember Joe?
Yeah.
He just did the
competition.
Yeah, trying to get his pro card.
Yeah.
He got 6th place.
Yeah.
Which he did great.
I think he said something like 150. Was there 150? There was a lot of.
There's 1,600 competitors.
150 in the top 150.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know what. I know he got 6th, and I remember he said there were like 1,600 plus competitors.
That is bananas.
But the reason I bring him up is he came on Instagram, or maybe it was Facebook. I think it was both, actually. And he put out a video, and he said, everybody that's sacrificed for me to, what's wrong?
I feel like I feel something. There's a tremble. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's no echo.
Yeah. So?
You have something going on.
I know. Anyway. Yes, he gave a shout out to his wife.
I do hear that, though.
He gave a shout out to his wife.
Yeah, and the sacrifice that they make and the family makes and his friends, because nobody sees him when he's training.
Right.
And I was like, man, I need to think about that too, because I train a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And that takes a toll on the family and the amount of time that it takes away. So I thought about that whenever I was given the option to be late to dinner or skip and be there and be present for dinner and leading up to it. And what he said really resonated with me. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to not go.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be okay with it. I'm giving myself an out and a permission to not do that. It's something that Jeff Lynne told me a long time ago. Give yourself permission to not do things sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, no. And like you were giving me a hard time about my Puerto Rican math, but that's it's the truth. We got to be able to be there for our partner because, Ron, I don't lay down with you at night, so.
It is unfortunate, but it doesn't happen. Yeah. No, I get it. And it wasn't your math. It was just Puerto Rican time.
Yeah. Well, I have Puerto Rican math, too, which is horrible.
Oh, goodness. So do you see the book in front of you? This is my research for the upcoming segment.
Okay.
Of our research stuff.
Explain. I can't even announce the title.
Plutarch?
I can't even pronounce the title. Trying to work on my speech, too, by the way.
So this book supposedly is a...
You just wrote over my horrible English. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. I just keep going. It's your second language,
no,
right?
It's not.
I know.
Ebonics is my first language.
It's your second language. We're just going to say it. So anyhow, this is supposedly a proper rendition or historical glimpse at these particular people. And they are prominent figures in Roman culture.
So is this like Romulus and Remus type deal?
I'm not familiar enough to say yes or no to that.
The twins.
But the reason why I say it's supposedly Because think about this. Let's say you write a book.
Okay? I started, by the way.
So let's say you write a book and it's just about random people that, I don't know, you want to make some stories up about. Let's just say.
Just make them up.
Yeah, just say that you're writing a book about Ron. Or you're writing and in this book you display me as this like superhuman, almost comic book character.
Mm-hmm.
With comic book tendencies. Where like I'll make things happen that really aren't supposed to happen.
Okay.
Very like sci-fi. I turn water into wine. Those types of things.
Ah. Okay.
And let's say that book makes it through history for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Mm-hmm.
Some guy picks up your book and thinks that Ron was this amazing person.
Uh-huh.
When another person wrote a book about Ron as well, but in their book, he was a real dick. He was like the worst of the worst. But through history, that book got lost. But your book made it.
Uh-huh.
That's what this is about these people. This is the book from Plutarch through the lives of Theseus, Romulus, Lycurgus, Numa, Solon, and Publicola.
Nice. You could barely read it too.
That's what I mean. So it's like, I was talking about this with my buddy at Jits, and I said, it's probably fine. It's probably a proper account of their lives. But think about it from like the total opposite end of it, if it was totally made up.
So you ever heard that term lost in translation? Translated by Bernadette Perrin.
Yeah, and then who's Bernadette? What's she about?
Yeah, what's her deal?
Yeah, where's she coming at it from?
She was doing mushrooms.
Who knows?
Hey, she could have a different intellect.
But they do have I don't know if it's Latin on the one side of the page, and then the other side of the page is the translation.
Nice.
But yeah. So
Rabbit Hole.
I've like cracked that book barely.
Rabbit Hole.
Oh yeah. I went down this rabbit hole.
Bro, you're on the introduction.
because of Stephen Pressfield. He's got this YouTube series out right now. I'll pull it up right now.
All right.
For those who watch it on YouTube.
Bro, I like the fact that when I used to be able to see what was going on over there.
Well, here you can watch it on Twitch because we are live on Twitch.
Oh. Explain Twitch.
Twitch?
Yeah. Very new. I probably heard it 3 times.
There you go. We'll just turn it down.
This is crazy.
Uh-huh. So so Twitch is a streaming service. It's free. Stephen Pressfield.
You just throw this stuff on me.
Like Warrior Archetype.
Twitch. I thought this was a gaming.
It is. It's gaming, but there's also a thing on there. It's called Just Chatting.
Yeah.
So where people go on there and just chat with each other virtually.
Cool. Have you dealt with Reddit? Not to cut you off, but have you been on that?
I don't actively participate on it, but there's some pretty cool threads.
Yeah, I'm hearing there's some cool stuff, but that's more reading, right? And this is more video?
This is why I pulled up this book, because of Stephen Pressfield. He's one of those guys that can just tell a really cool story. Even if it is history, he tells it in a way that's just... I find him interesting. I like his voice. I like the way that he tells a story, his cadence, all of it. It's pretty neat. But that's what this is. I just put in there Stephen Pressfield Warrior Archetype, because I'm on this kick of, what is a warrior?
Uh-huh.
Do you consider yourself a warrior?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
yes.
I think I'm a warrior. I mean, I'm
single moms, they're warriors. You know what I mean? Like there's always a warrior mentality in. And I thought about this as I was running too. Is like, no matter what you do or who you are, you have some lineage that was some form or fashion of a warrior mentality. And my mentality of a warrior is just somebody who perseveres and makes do with what they got and they survive.
Okay.
So you're here because your ancestors survived.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's all I'm going after is like,
And I'm like
warrior archetype.
cut from the gods too. Like, bro,
You're soft. He's soft. Don't let him fool you.
Don't let them fool you.
Corona's still eating at him.
Bro, I'm down 12 pounds.
I bet.
Yeah.
It's amazing just like getting back into a normal workout routine.
Yeah.
It just sheds right off.
Yeah, so I'm also doing a intermittent fasting. Don't know if I'm doing it correctly. I'm probably eating way more calories than I should. But I'm eating every 12 hours, 12 to 13 hours.
Okay.
So I know you've done this before. You've dealt with a couple different things, and my day schedule is jacked up. Like I'm going from 5 o'clock in the morning to about 11:30 at night. So it kind of puts me at a different whack of a eating habit.
Yeah, I do find myself eating really late because all adult classes are late.
Yeah.
No matter what gym you ever go to, the adult classes are always last.
Yeah.
So you're eating 9:30, 10 o'clock at night.
Well, kids got like freaking homework and stuff like that. And I have my Puerto Rican time. We always go long. So I have hour classes up there.
Yeah.
And it always goes like hour 10.
Because he can't shut up.
I think it's
He's got to explain everything.
Chatty Cathy. No, I get excited. If people start doing something maybe that might hurt them or put them a little improper, like so that they can get a very definitive punch or kick or actual technique, I'll break it down.
How is your sparring going? Your sparring classes? When you guys spar every class, right?
Yeah, we spar. Yeah. It's going amazing. It's like night and day from probably 3 months ago. So I actually had them doing a little body hardening on this yesterday. So what I had them do, get them like someone were supposed to get them in the clinch, grab their neck. I had them beating on their ribs, coming up with uppercuts, and then bringing around for the hooks. And they were getting hit in the face and getting hit in the ribs and getting popped in the jib. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I want them to get used to getting punched. And people, like the saying says, everybody has a plan to get punched in the face. So I punch them in the face, because you're not going to know if you don't go through it. All right. You're not going to know how you're going to react. You're not going to know like, oh my gosh, I just got my jaw,
Yeah, it's amazing how it does take a second for you to get your bearings straight if you're not used to getting whacked a little bit.
Right. Yeah. So I just cultivate different responses. And that's really what me and Chris talk about, cultivating responses all the time. So I want that shortened time length of you being jolted and reacting. If that's so long, like when you first start sparring or anything, if that's really long, it's going to take you, your OODA loop's all jacked up. So you need to shorten that time frame for you to react a whole lot faster, because you're still not going to be fast enough to almost see the punch coming, because it's harder for you to react to a punch. Everybody, like the whole model of sucker punch. It's a sucker punch. You just got to know how to get out of it. So if you're not paying attention, you're not being aware of that, then you're going to get popped. So now I have to figure out how to do that. It's always harder to counter than it is to be the 100%. Attacker.
And we were talking about this at the gun course on Saturday, where I think it was at the gun course. Might have been at Krav. Can't remember. Anyhow, Chris said it either way.
Yeah.
And he said, the thing about it is the attacker knows that they're coming for you.
Right.
You just don't know that they're coming for you.
Yes.
And like you're telling me, you got to shorten that reaction time after they come at you.
Absolutely.
And be able to react accordingly.
So I think we talked about OODA loop before.
We talk about it all the time.
Yeah. So it's observation, orientation, decision, and action. And if I drop a bottle, you need to raise your hand.
Oh, did you see Formula One drivers doing that?
No.
That's how they start prep and their like that's how they warm up for their races.
Dropping bottles?
They drop a ball and they got to grab it out of the air.
Yes. I've seen it. Boxers do that.
Yeah, I've seen boxers do it. I've seen goalies do it.
Yes.
Just eye training.
Yeah.
Being able to train your eyes like that.
You play baseball.
Like we did that. I was telling Chris this was because he had Brielle going and hitting with the ball mongie tennis balls. You know, just like with a tennis, it would be similar to a tennis racket where you're just kind of hitting it. But I was like, we used to do that in baseball, and we'd put numbers on the ball, and you had to tell what number it was.
Yes.
And then if you got enough wrong, you had to do laps.
Yeah.
Because it was like you got to pay attention to the ball to almost to the point that you could see the seams in the ball.
Isn't that great?
And you can do it, and you're doing it in milliseconds.
Professionals are doing that
constantly. They're like reading the rotation of the ball to the point that like they know where the ball is going to be, and that's how they can hit it. That's how good they are.
And that's a trained response.
Absolutely trained.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't come out of the womb doing that stuff.
No. Not trained, a learned response. It's a learned response. Right?
Okay.
So,
what's the difference between trained and learned?
There isn't, but
okay.
if someone that's never done training, you know, and because a learned response, it's not just like we don't do it just for combative sports, you know. We like, for example, like I'm not very good on educate myself online. It's just not a thing. But someone that's younger than me, this is all they know. Like I'm the pre-internet generation, bro. So I gotta like that. I need to learn that type of training. I need to learn that type of response of looking at the screen and being able to take it in, as opposed to me reading a book and comprehending it that way. And I don't know.
Makes you rethink why we had all of those training videos for work. Because if we don't learn based on that video, like how were those videos effective? I think they were effective, and I think we have some of that sprinkled in us. But yeah, the pre-internet people you certainly struggle more so than those of us who grew up with it.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I've never known a house really without a computer in it. I mean, I grew up playing that Slingo game. If you remember that,
no.
Getting AOL discs and playing Slingo.
Oh, AOL,
and then AM Instant Messenger and all that stuff. Like, I grew up on that.
Yeah, and now we get mad when it's slow. Now it's like
it's like, bro, we've said this before, but it's like it goes to space, and then comes back, and you're mad that it took 3 seconds. To me, that's amazing, and also makes me question how far away space really is. It's like, how far is that out there? And why is it able to travel so damn fast? Like my messages everywhere. Why is it able to travel so fast?
Yeah. So that's not even. We like coughed at the same time.
Good. That'll be easy to edit out.
That's not. Is that speed of light? What is that? Speed of sound? What is that?
It'd be speed of radio waves.
That's a thing?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is because I don't know. I know that they're different frequencies.
Yeah.
What we're talking about, so I don't know if it'd be speed of sound, because those are waves. It'd be sound.
Talk about rabbit holes. I guess they're hearing stuff in space too, from like Mars area.
Oh, really? I was reading something in National Geographic the other day about Ceres. It's a dwarf planet. I think it's between Saturn and Jupiter. It's a dwarf planet that has I think they are former volcanoes. I'm pretty sure it was former volcanoes, but there was all forms or all ingredients for life, water and stuff like that.
Bro, so speaking about planets, as I was going through with 13 Planet from, you know, 'cause that's like, it's like your new thing now, your group, right?
Oh, 10th planet.
10th planet. And the 10th planet is Uranus.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Is it? I'm trying to confirm.
Are there 10 planets? Planets in solar system. I thought there were only 9 planets. Yeah. It's Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. Yeah, 10th planet's not even a thing. Yeah, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, which is kind of dropped off. It goes in and out.
It's a star now, right?
So the 10th would be a non-known planet.
Oh.
Uranus.
I mean, that would have been a better freaking.
That would have been a better
story.
That would have been a better joke if it made sense.
Come on, let's change it to 9th planet. That's Uranus, right?
That's still Pluto. You need the 8th, which is the last one apparently, because Pluto's not big enough now. Now it's a dwarf planet. That's what they call them.
I don't know. The Earth is flat, bro.
Oh, jeez. All right.
That's
just a hockey puck floating around out there. How about I found out something the other day with
I love these rabbit hole covers.
Nitrogen. Liquid nitrogen.
Yeah.
If you would put a hockey puck in liquid nitrogen, it would hover over the ice. Okay. It's because there's that evaporative cooling process forms a barrier of air in between the surface of the liquid nitrogen and whatever you're trying to put it on. There's a barrier of air that's being forced out of it. That's why it appears to be floating. And I've seen science experiments where they kind of throw it around a track, like a little racetrack. They'll put a hockey puck in liquid nitrogen. They'll bring it out and then they'll swing it around and it'll look like it's. I thought it was because of a magnet, like they were opposing magnets going around, but that's not it at all. It's actually an air barrier on the outside of that hockey puck that makes it go. Well, it actually makes it have no friction. There's air underneath of it.
So you said as it appears, but it's floating.
It is floating.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, because gravity's trying to pull it down, but that airflow is so that's pulling down, but this is also pushing and pulling this hockey puck up. So those opposing forces make it float.
So how many? There has to be a limit, though. So if you put 4 or 5 hockey pucks, it's gonna eventually sink.
I don't know.
Let's do it.
I don't know. Let me look it up. I also found out something, too, the other day. I was reading, again, in National Geographic. I've been really diving into those. I've been backed up on them. I haven't read any of the magazines. I've been getting them every month.
I don't know anybody that still gets them.
Oh, I love them.
Well, I mean, print is dead, bro. Like
I know. I'm trying to give as much as I can to magazines to keep them alive, because I know that it's like wasteful as far as resources go, but going back to what I'm going to talk about is a circular economy is what they were talking about, and they're making roads out of plastic.
Yes. Yeah.
I never knew that.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
liquid nitrogen.
We were talking about energy, and I was having a conversation with another fella, and we were talking about like wind, solar, and different types of energy, but that still has to be harvested. So,
every tool
is it a better source?
What?
Wind, solar, as opposed to nuclear or coal? Because if you don't have wind, if you don't have the sun, then what do you do?
Well, I mean, no matter what, you're going to have to be able to collect that energy.
Yeah. So,
and that's going to take metal. It's going to take plastics. It's going to take silica and all of those raw materials to make the products that harness that energy. But then you think about too, like, yeah, here it is. See, those are magnets. Superconducting magnetic levitation.
You guys are really
puck, liquid nitrogen float.
You guys are really seeing how the Stars podcast goes. We went from family to
it's called quantum locking.
Meissner
state. Meissner state.
To saying the 13th planet is Uranus.
which is a lie. Which is an absolute lie. But yeah, if you want to look at that on YouTube, it is. I just looked up hockey puck liquid nitrogen float, and it's like the 1, 2, 3, fourth one down from Vsauce 3. Shout out to Vsauce 3. He's got the sauce. Or actually, yeah, somebody was saying there was this video floating around of a Best Buy employee trying to sell something, and everybody that comes to him, he's like, "Oh man, that's the juice. Like that's cool. That's awesome. Like that's the juice."
He's creating his own.
And he's like, "Listen, the juice is good. I understand that, but what you want is the sauce." And I'm thinking like, okay, you got me. I'm gonna keep listening. Click here to watch it on reel, and so I'm watching it, and he goes on to explain what he's talking about. He said, "Listen, the juice. You get a bottle of juice. How long does that juice last? A couple days, maybe a week." Mm-hmm. He goes, "You get a bottle of sauce. You got sauce for months, right? So what you're after is the sauce, not the juice." And his stuff was the sauce. And it was like, I'm like, dude, this guy is just spitting game. I love it. It was funny.
Great salesman.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking about was like, I think about that too, because one of the best trainings that I ever got, sales training that I ever got, was from a guy named, I think his name was Tad Miller. Anyhow, he does consulting for Fortune 500, Fortune 100 companies.
Okay.
Like he teaches their sales force how to sell. And the best training ever, and most of the training was group work and watching videos and dissecting the video on what these people could have done better or worse. Yeah. And you know where they were from? It wasn't like a staged thing. Mm-hmm. It was from movies and from video clips of actors doing it, and dissecting what they did and why they did what they were, like why they used the tax that they were using. Mind blowing. It was it was like a master class on how to read people and how to sell.
Ooh. Which
I watched a master class yesterday.
Yeah.
From a former FBI interrogation guy. Vance Gill, I believe was his name. And he said everything you do, every interaction you have is a negotiation. Everything is a negotiation.
Yeah.
And his company is called Black Swan Incorporated. And he goes, what you want to do is you want to find the black swan that can change the outcome of every single situation between you and me. Because we're both hiding something.
Right.
You know, what we're saying isn't our driving force. Like our black swan is the driving force, whether it's family, religion, whatever.
Yeah.
Jeff Lynne talks about this constantly too. Is like, what is your why? Everybody talks about it.
Right, yeah.
He just labeled it as a black swan. It comes from like 16th century text is where he came at it.
No, man, I tell you, those people that did investigations like for a living, it's amazing. So when I was going through what's it called? It was like a public speaking group that would travel.
Okay.
And you can find them anywhere. Toastmasters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
And I don't know if they're still around. I don't know if
they're still around.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was so much
Ferriss
fun.
Props them all the time.
Yeah. It's so much fun. I mean, I had such a great time doing it. You probably can't tell now since English is my second language, but Toastmasters. I was in a group with an FBI investigator. She was amazing. She taught me some really, really, really cool stuff.
What did she teach you?
So body language, opening, how to.
So if I came in and I was just like slumped over.
Yeah, slumped over.
So you think you could throw somebody if you knew all that and you're just like.
Oh, yeah. So I've done this. When I go to interviews, especially when I used to go to police interviews, I knew what they possibly could be looking for. So you know what else? Exposing the neck is a sign of you telling the truth. So every time I would answer a question, I would go from this to this, to like rolling my shoulders back, and I knew I could tell a lie and it'd be okay.
Ooh,
so I was
juicy.
This the sauce, baby.
This is the sauce.
But it was just it was a couple of things to work the good cop bad cop deal that doesn't work on most. Some of the times
you have to have a real vulnerable person.
Yeah,
like a codependent type person.
But
for the
you
good
can
cop,
also
bad cop to
you
work.
can also break them down though too.
Yeah,
the
constant battering back and forth, roller coaster of emotion.
Yeah, and then you switch on it, and then you'd be like, look, like I just used this a couple weeks ago. It's like, man, you know what? I totally understand why you did what you did.
Yeah,
and he didn't even admit to doing it. So I'm talking to this convict, and I'm like, hey, yeah, man, he's an asshole. Totally get it. I did this. He's taken everything from you, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, yeah, he is an asshole. That's why I did it. And I was like,
man,
thank you. He's like, what do you he's like, he like knew instantly he was defeated. It's just like,
yeah,
it was really cool. It's kind of funny within my job, I get to, with being a counselor in the Department of Corrections, I get to interact with so many great different personalities, not great people, maybe morally, but experiences. So I'm talking to this one convict, right? And he's a convict for real. He's been in and out. He's doing now a 10 to 20 for robbery and forgery. So he's that guy. And he's making probably about an extra $1,100 a month in jail. $1,100 a month in jail because he preys on the vulnerable, but not too much. He affords them, like, this dude would have been an amazing salesman. Like he could honestly, he could probably do a Fortune 500 company. He can be, like you're talking about, a sales person to train, a salesperson trainer guy,
sales consultant.
Yeah,
type.
he can be that guy. He's found a way to almost loan shark. When you receive money in the Department of Corrections, they take a percentage. So what he does, tell your family to put the money on my books. I'll give you straight cash at a lower percentage than the prison's gonna do.
Smart.
Oh, he's like, hey, but he also takes care of people too. So if he got a guy just came on a unit, flat broke and got nothing, he sets him up. Boom. He's like, here you go. He said, I give free stuff away all the time. I was like, we do the same thing. He says, I give people, hey man, you don't need to go hungry. Here's this. Oh, let me pay you back. No.
We call that grooming.
Yeah. Yeah. But
in the biz,
he also he grooms them in that way. Sex offenders do this as well.
Oh yeah.
So he grooms them in that way, but he doesn't look for anything. But what happens is he's created a relationship with these people, and they're like, he's a good dude. If I'm gonna want or do any business, it's gonna be with him. And that's it. There's other people that may be cheaper, but crooked. It might punch you in the face if you don't pay him up. He's like, nah, I'm good. He was like, your little $10 is not hurting me, And now when I talk about money, with them, their currency is food. It's not so. Some of them get money, but if you're thinking about $100, you're thinking about $100 in food. So like sausages, chips, candies, donuts, these type of things. So each one of those things has a dollar value to it. And when they play poker, they bet on football, it's like, okay, I'll give you 2 summer sausages and a bag of coffee, things like that. It's really interesting.
I always wondered too about the different types of criminals there are, and which one is like the most difficult to be. And I was thinking about forgery and like things like that, like bad checks, and how you can get away with it. Because I was listening to a podcast, a Meat Eater podcast, and one of the guys got his identity stolen. I can't remember the exact details of the whole story, but he got his identity stolen, and they were writing checks and being able to use bank checks. Like they stole checks from one company to write to we'll call him Cal. His name is Cal. So he writes bad checks from this company to Cal as cash payments for work that never happened. So then the bank will then give you cash from this person's account, and then you have cash money.
Right.
And I'm like, that's kind of sophisticated. You have to steal from two different people.
Yeah.
In the relatively the same area, so there wouldn't be like big questions to ask as to why you're giving this guy $500 cash, and you have to steal from a company that's big enough that will not really notice a couple $100 here and there, but you'd have to constantly be on the move.
Yeah.
And at some point you run out of places to go, I would assume.
So you're thinking that, I mean, people do that for pills, painkillers. You know, if they're writing scripts, they're not going to exhaust one spot. They're going to go to a couple different doctors.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
See, it's like a level of sophistication that I guess that I'm not used to.
Well, because it's not a learned response for you. It's not a learned behavior. Mm-hmm. Some people that this is why do you do it? That they have a why, and it makes them feel good. They justify their actions.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you do what you know for the most part. You do what you know, and if what you know and your environment is cool with everything that we just talked about,
right?
And I think about that as well, just in terms of like why we have certain laws and certain things like that. Is like, you know, certain areas would be totally fine with acting crazy. In terms of like, you could party forever.
Social norms, man.
Yeah, social norms in one area, and you talk about being able to not control, but have laws that govern such vast areas like the United States.
Yeah.
Boy, is that difficult to uphold.
So I know a family member that used to buy cigarettes without tax stamps, right? So it might look at just cigarettes, you know, but there's a law, you know, that you're breaking. And some people think of it as a slippery slope. Well, if you would do that, then you would do this. And that doesn't always happen.
That doesn't always make sense.
But it's a social, it's okay to get these cigarettes. It's just because I like those cigarettes. Like, it's okay to,
and they're $2 cheaper, and I'm on a budget.
Right.
And I smoke.
And it's an addiction. I keep it going, and it's all right. It's not a big deal. But in a grand scheme of things, you know, now the state's not getting their taxes on that pack of cigarettes, and it might be $100 for you, but it could be, you know, millions of dollars somewhere else that now they can't give for certain programs. Mm-hmm. So you start.
Yeah, if everybody did it this way,
right,
then there'd be, and most people would think, well, I'm just one person, I'm insignificant.
Right. Yeah.
But then you get a whole community buying cigarettes like that, and it's like, well, wait a second, why aren't our roads getting redone?
Right. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I mean,
I was thinking about that going through Youngstown the other day on my way to get my hair cut.
Yeah.
There are certain areas that are definitely better maintained than others in Youngstown.
Oh, it's their tax base for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I bet you could draw a line where taxes start and stop.
Oh, yeah.
Those areas.
Oh, definitely.
I bet you could overlay them damn near perfectly.
You could look at it in the schools.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
yeah,
Cranberry's better than Butler. Butler's better than Mercer. You know, the tax, and these are just insignificant places, yeah. But the tax base is real. So if you're in a community where it's low income, where you're not making any money, and you're on social services, let's say you're on welfare, you're on disability, you're not going to have those high tax.
Yeah.
And what happens? The schools are at subpar. They're at a minimum. They're 8% under education level. They got people that are in 12th grade reading 5th grade.
Well, that's why I always say
levels.
Also to invest your dollars in as many parts of your community as possible. Like, don't shop at Walmart and places in that. Like, shop local as much as you possibly can. But with people on a fixed budget, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
Because those large chain stores drive the price down to nothing.
So
everything becomes a commodity.
Right. When does a fixed budget come to, all right, well, this is the end of the world. This is the end of my road. This is all I can get to. And now I'm just waiting for an increase for the powers that be, for the governments that be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm waiting for that. There's a bunch of people that are just sitting there waiting for the stimulus check that's coming in.
I'm waiting.
You know, but
I'm waiting. I'm trying.
So, but for example, your waiting would be like, oh, you know, I can get, not saying this is what you're doing. Let's say I can get a motor for my boat, as opposed to I need to catch up on my bills. You know? And it's tough. I've lived paycheck to paycheck. I've lived out my car. Do
you think we're reaching a level of human population that is just unsustainable, and we've reached like that critical point, and now we'll see a drop off
in
human population, like, because there's so many places, I don't want to say so many places, but there are places that are just, people don't want to live anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's been a mass exodus in New York,
mass
Los
exodus,
Angeles.
but not even in just that part of it, but like, a lot of places you can't grow the same food that you used to be able to. The yield on crops has gone down. Just things like that because of what we've done to, I don't want to even just say we, just in general, the earth is going through a warming process.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's man-made or not, I have no idea.
Or cyclical.
Yeah, or cyclical.
Uh-huh.
Do you think that we're seeing I don't even know how many billion people we have, but at this number, that's it, and then civilization starts to drop off? Do you think that's like in the realm of possibilities?
Well, I think it, I don't want to sound insensitive, but it should be. We could only sustain so many people on this earth.
I mean, think of a beehive.
Yeah.
A beehive can't continuously, hey, yeah, all the bees can come here.
The planet is so big. There's only so much land.
Yeah.
You know, and can we keep everybody alive? I guess that's the point. Like,
I don't think.
There is no way.
This goes back to that National Geographic I was reading.
And there it goes.
It was the raw material. It was like 630 some odd billion tons of raw material we extract from the earth every year.
I think, and
2/3 of it is wasted.
Yes, that's where we're at.
We're talking plastic bottles, metal, all this shit. It's just wasted.
So, another waste on, let's say, I know there's companies out there that have ugly fruit. Like ugly fruit boxes or
weren't you guys gonna do that?
Yeah. It was like it's damaged. It's about to go. Doesn't look as pretty. But who makes those rules? There's your waste, bro. So you got the government saying, "Hey, you can only have it for this long." But really, can I only have it for that long?
I'll do. And I did the food, not the food pantry, but Pittsburgh Food Bank. We would sort through food.
Yeah.
We're talking like a month late on the date. Still good.
Still good. This is what I'm saying.
Like, those are their rules.
Yeah. Like, I don't get it. Why does it? So we're being extremely wasteful. Oh, yeah. Extremely wasteful.
It's to continually like feed the cycle of, well, you got to buy more because that's bad.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not that bad yet.
Right. So the powers that be could be like, you know what? We might have shortened our chances too much, or like, just because if you don't drink milk on the 17th and and you drink it on the 18th, it's not gonna be as bad. Milk is funny though, because I get.
But we could even go so far as to say, like, you should be making all your own stuff. Like, you could go back that far in the process and go way back at it.
There's not enough
space.
space.
No packaging.
There's not enough space, bro.
What do you mean there's not enough space?
So think about, I tell you, when I grew up, there was probably a patch of grass.
I know, but limiting what you actually have is what like a total dial back.
Oh, yeah, as far as like, okay, I'm going to grow my vegetables.
Well, not even that. Like,
or I'm going to have a cow in the backyard.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And like.
But that takes space.
And time.
Yeah.
So it's a whole different economy. It's a whole different world. I mean, you're talking like 1700s, 1800s.
Yeah.
That was happening.
The population was lower, though, too. Speaking about, I don't know how I went into that. We just start talking about population and how dial stuff back. It's 9/11, bro.
It is 9/11. Yeah, the big flags are flying.
Yeah. It's 9/11. And I was talking with another self-defense company guy out of Baltimore, Akil Bay. You know, he's a good dude, Taylor Defense Group. He's a good guy out of Baltimore area if you guys are looking for training out there. But he's also an EMT, paramedic, all that. Navy SEAL. He's done some really good things over the years. And he put on a post that says, to bring us together, it almost as if we need to have a detriment. We need to have war. We need to have a 9/11. When 9/11 happened, I swear, as America, it was the best. It was pinnacle. It was like, wow, man. Everybody wants to be American. It was flags everywhere. All the cars had them, and there was just so much pride in just being American because now you attacked us. Now it's us against them, as opposed to having the infighting. They do this at work, too. You know, if we don't have a lot of attacks on staff, what happens? It's not the offenders you need to worry about. It's the freaking staff. All the backbiting and the division and the grouping, and it's because they got nothing else to come together and go against. So it's unfortunate because I think that us as America, like, we need to be attacked. We need to be
we always need a common goal.
There you go.
Most of the time, it's a common enemy. Whenever you're talking,
that's the easiest way.
When you're talking about national pride, it ends up being the low hanging fruit is a common enemy. When, if you think about like economies shut down and started making artillery.
Yeah.
For a war effort.
Yeah.
Think about if you diverted all your resources to anything.
All they did for the...
I'm talking like any effort that you would possibly want. Let's say space exploration. We've done that before.
Yep.
With NASA.
Yeah.
When
we
the president wanted to beat Russia.
Right.
So we had national pride in our space exploration to divert lots of resources to that.
Right.
You know, and it's like you feel like you could solve any problem possible if everybody as a nation directed their efforts towards it. And I think that's the power of a politician and where politicians, I don't know that they fall short or if it's just so difficult to do, but everybody's trying to run around the wheel to get reelected instead of pushing forward an agenda that reaches the masses. And I'm talking outside of like Social Security, Medicare.
Right.
Like, give me something new to latch on to.
Yeah.
Tell me like your crazy vision for the future. Shoot for the stars, and at some point we'll land like somewhere in between.
Yeah,
but we're way further ahead than we are right now.
Right.
So like, give me some pie in the sky, never gonna freaking happen idea. And yes, people are gonna pick it apart, but guess what? They're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
And give me something new.
Right.
Like I want an effort that's like new age and looking at the future and trying to preserve the world that we live in, because the way we're going now is obviously killing it.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever you're like, I just get this like cartoony vision when I read that 636 billion tons, I just get this cartoon vision of this nasty hand that's like oozing with oil and grossness and shit growing off of it and just yanking more out of this black hole. Like that's what I see. Instead of like this nice visual of what I would assume would be use, recycle, reuse type stuff.
Yeah.
I just see this pulling out and like flicking away. Like just flicking it away.
Yeah.
God, that's just wasteful. I don't know. It's just something that's been eating at me.
Yeah, and a lot of things. One of the things when we start coming up to a common goal or something to achieve, and I don't know, me being a veteran, like they're talking now about depleting the military. Do you know in when Japan was thinking about attacking, or when they did attack Pearl Harbor, you know, they was like, we've awoken the beast. You can't, like nobody would think about trying to invade America when you have, it was like a gun behind every blade of grass. When you start to take away those defenses, we're going to be the low-hanging fruit. They're going to have their common goal and be like, we're going to go and take over them, and we're going to take all their resources. We're going to take all their thought process. We're going to take everything that they have because they already have it. The superpower is us. When we start to diminish our defenses for that, we're the low-hanging fruit, man. We're just primed for the picking. It's a scary thing.
But do you think that the budget for the defenses is a little inflated, that some of those resources could be spread to other areas for like, I don't know what it takes to run the largest military in the world, but I know that like you still got to pay for room and board whenever you're at the bases.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get anything for free.
Right.
So like, I don't know. There's a circular economy.
What, the military?
Just the military in general, like, because they get paid, but then they pay the military to eat their food that they, I don't know, that they provide.
Yeah.
Like a. It's like they're paying them, but the only way that they can eat is if they pay them back. Which is weird.
Yeah, and the military, you don't get rich in the military.
Oh no, it's a job where it's like a real thankless job, but it's super necessary for security purposes, and it's one of those like integrity jobs.
So one of the greatest things, like I remember we talked about like force continuum, use of force.
Yeah.
The first part of it is showing up, right? Just the presentation of being there. Like, you're going to see our troops. You're going to be like, we're just there. Hey, look, we're here. You know, we're going to keep you at bay because we're here. When you start to pluck those away, you don't have that anymore. And then there's that second guessing. Right now, we're not giving you a guess. Like when Trump first came into office, he dropped, you know, the second biggest bomb we have in our arsenal. He was just like, it was the mother of all bombs, you know, and boom, he did it. What does that tell other people? Like, this dude's...
He's serious.
He's serious. He's like... He is going to use everything in his power if we try to do something in America.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've talked to people that used to jump the border, you know, from Mexico, and they was like, we can't do it now, you know. So in a sense, they're hoping that he doesn't get reelected because, for one, they don't know how the next person is going to be. But if you look at what's in front of you, this is not the guy to do it because he's going to continue to make fencing. He's going to continue to put more people on the border. You know, yeah, they said it's extremely hard now. And what you're doing is, because it's so hard, you're making it way more expensive for the people that probably got nothing. You know, as opposed to $5,000 to come on across the border maybe 5 years ago, you know, or 6-7 years ago. Now it's 10,000. So you're going to start victimizing a lot more people. And they're going to do whatever they have to. They're going to be like, you know what? I can't go, but I'm going to send my son with this freaking coyote who's going to say that that's his son. You know, here, come on, I got him. You know, and don't separate me from my kids. And, you know, it's a shame. And there was a good point that was brought up. If it's so hard to be in America right now for people of color, anything, then why are people coming in droves? Why is
Are
that
they
a
still?
thing?
You just said it's really difficult.
Yeah, but people are still trying, regardless if it's difficult or not. There's still people freaking dying trying to come over here.
Mm-hmm.
So can you have it both ways?
Well, perception's reality.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think that your life is really difficult, then it's going to be really difficult. I don't know the answers to that question.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's a question that we all battle with a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a conflict that I have even. You
Yeah.
know, it's just like, is the problem, and we talk about this constantly, is like, the problems that I come across, are they the same as yours? Probably not.
Uh-huh.
Are they the same as somebody that's like trying to come over from Mexico? Definitely not.
Mm-hmm.
That's like escaping whatever they're trying to escape
Yeah.
and illegally come into the United States.
Yeah.
Like, no. Me not like having coffee creamer in the morning and being inconvenienced by getting in my car that I have gas in to
Right.
drive down
Yeah.
the road to go
Yeah.
get milk that was packaged and preserved for me in a nice little section in my grocery store. No.
Yeah.
Like, that is not even close. But to me, like, I feel really inconvenienced to have to go do that.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I'm just like, you know, first world problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's hard.
Definitely.
It's hard for me to conceive that world where, like, we need border walls.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's hard for me to really understand that because I don't live it.
Right.
And what I do see of it is like, to my fellow person,
Yeah. Humanity.
my humanity kicks
Right.
in, and I'm like, dude, what are we doing down there?
Mm-hmm.
It looks crazy.
Yeah.
But then, like, you don't have the time to go down there and investigate it yourself and go
Right.
see it for yourself. So you
Yeah.
rely on these media sources to give you the information
Yeah.
as truthfully as possible. Just give me the information and let me figure it out. But then at the same time, we're telling them, like, we don't have time to figure it out. Just tell me so I can, like, be informed.
Yeah.
And then the other side
because
of it
we
is
have
like,
life. We have stuff that we
yeah,
have
and the other
to do.
side of it's like, I got a life. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, some things I'm just like, I don't care.
Right.
I don't want to watch the news.
Yeah.
I don't care what celebrity just died.
If I wanted to be a politician, then that's what I would be.
Yeah,
Right.
there's just
That's not
sometimes
my
that I
job.
just take a break.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not like, and I'm not saying that it's not happening. Like, I know things are happening. I know that there are important things happening in the world. My head's not in the sand fully, but like, I need to come up for air sometimes out of that, and like, I can't keep up with everything that's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it I don't know. I don't like it.
So you can only do with what you have control. You only have control of what's going on with you and your circle. You know? So I'm going to lock my door. I'm going to arm myself with in my house. I'm going to make sure my family's taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I can't look at A, B, and C's family and make sure that they're taken care of too. I can't do that. When it comes down to us having borders, we have them. We have fences. We have locked doors. We don't just leave the door open, have somebody come in and sleep on our couch when we have no idea who they are. You know, so we have parameters in place.
Except if you're in Dewey Beach, Delaware.
Is that a thing?
Dude, twice I've woke up to people in my house.
What?
Yeah. It's like one night we forget to lock the door, and we had somebody came in and said, listen to this. This is a great story, actually. Great story. So we have like a guy's night out.
Yeah.
So we go out. We're drinking. We're having a good time. We're carrying on. We come back. It was probably around 11 o'clock. because we're old.
Yeah.
So 11
yeah,
o'clock,
no.
I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe we were out so late.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
most everybody's just starting. But anyhow, so we come home, and coming in, everybody's sleeping, and we're trying to be quiet, and we get my buddy up to his room, and I'm downstairs, and all of a sudden, a woman walks into our condo. Down walks my wife.
Oh my.
I just came home from the
Horrible
bar.
story. Horrible story.
Bad start. Bad start. And I'm like looking at her, and I'm looking at the other her, and I'm like, she said she's just using the bathroom, and I don't know why she's here. and I swear to this day, I had no idea who she was.
Oh my gosh.
But she walked in behind us as we were coming in the house, and I didn't realize it.
Like
and she
was
goes and
cool.
used the bathroom. Like she knows where she's at. Another time.
Wait a minute. Does it stop there? Like, does she use the potty and leave?
So she uses the bathroom. I was like, listen, I don't know who you are, but you got to go. And she's like, this is how this is played. Like, she's drunk out of her mind. And I'm like, no, you have the wrong place. I said, you need to go away and figure it out. But you can't do that here. You need to go.
Crop stance.
Yeah. So then the next morning was very interesting because, like, we had to have a conversation about who this woman was. I was like, honest to God.
Oh my.
I have no idea who it was. Well, my buddy like knew this woman was walking in, and he ran upstairs because he didn't want to get caught with this woman in our house, even though like we didn't have anything to do with her coming to our house, as far as I know.
You're right.
He says the next morning, I don't remember seeing anybody. I'm like, bro, you just left me out A, to dry,
Yeah.
and B, you lied.
Bro
because you
code.
know she was in the house. You know she was there because you saw her and then ran upstairs, leaving me to deal with this.
Wow.
So anyhow, I had to set it straight, and I had no idea
Yeah.
why she was there. She did use the bathroom. She left. Done story. But it was just like a weird thing the next morning because my boy lied.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why did you lie? Did you invite her back? And then like you got cold feet all of a sudden?
You still vacationing with these people?
No. No, they are off the list. Off the list. Another time, we sitting there getting ready to have a cup of coffee, come out, and there is somebody on our couch with all of the clean towels that were just laundered wrapped over them as a blanket. And I was like, my wife looks over at me. She's like, who is that? I said, I have no idea who that is.
Bro.
I was like, good thing like there wasn't a killer on the loose.
Oh my gosh. You know, if me and Chris was at that house with you and it would have been a bad situation.
Anyhow,
You would have had to talk us
that
off
girl,
a ledge.
that girl got up, was clearly.
It was a girl?
Yeah, another girl.
Gosh, what is up with you and Ron? Is there something you like
Listen,
to say? I'm
It's
just
a,
joking.
it's a
Alyssa.
blessing and a curse. It's a blessing and a curse. Listen.
You handsome dude, you.
And I didn't even go out this time. Like, I was home. I didn't leave. And freaking this girl goes and sits on the curb on the side of the road, like, just contemplating her life. You could just see it in her face. Like, what have I been doing?
Mm-hmm.
And she was there for maybe like 30, 40 minutes.
Wow.
And finally got in
Did
touch
you have
with
a
somebody.
conversation with somebody? Did you have a caller? Did you?
No. Like, you need to go. You were an adult drinking. You need to figure this out. And furthermore, where are your girls at? Like,
You're
who did you go out with?
These people are lucky.
Super lucky.
I mean, so me and Chris go on vacation. We're clearing the house with our pistols. Like, this is what we do. Like, we go and clear it, and we're doing hand signals, all of it. Like, we're going through, like, we're taking down Osama.
yeah. I cleared my house the other day.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just for S&Gs.
Hey,
I had the AR strapped on with my side.
Nice.
And I'm like, I'm running around just trying to
Perfect.
see if it works.
yeah, do it with the lights off.
Well, it was daytime.
No, attempt to
There
do
were
it.
there were no lights on. It was just
All right.
daylight.
Yeah, but like at night, do it with the lights off.
Oh, I try and do that.
That's your house, bro.
Yeah, I know. I do that in my bedroom whenever I go pee. I've stepped it off so I don't stub my toe anymore.
Oh. Yeah.
So like I can sidestep and realize where I'm at and move forward.
You know you're getting old when you get up in the middle of the night to pee.
Oh, 3-4 times.
Yeah, I get you.
3-4 times.
It's
I even talk
horrible.
about it in my post-run or post-race log. I'm like, I had a good night of sleep. I only woke up twice
Yeah.
to go pee.
It's not good.
And I'm not even old.
Yeah. But you drink a lot of
Also,
water.
I'm 10 years overdue for my colon inspection
How are you 10 years overdue?
because my mom passed away when she
Ah.
was like 40-something. So 10
They call it
so
preconceived. not
FYI,
preconceived.
if you have somebody that's passed away from like some sort of cancer, 10 years prior to them passing, like year-wise, you should be getting checked. So if your parent passed away at 40, you should start getting checked at 30.
Ah.
So I got to get a rectal exam.
Yeah.
That would
I've
be
done
good.
prostate exams. Not me personally. I've gotten
I've done a few. They call me 10 fingers.
minivan. Anyway,
In a minivan? Unmarked.
you never heard this?
No.
Yeah. That's a little.
Well, it sounds like a great story.
No, it's horrible. No. Anyway, so yeah, prostate checks. Yeah. I had
They give
asked
you a
the
magazine?
last time I got my prostate check. I asked, bro, I'm about to be 45, and they was like, nah, and they asked, past history questions, generational questions, and they was like, no, 50's okay. So I wait till 50 to get my colonoscopy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to go. I'm 34.
Yeah.
He's like, you're 4 years overdue. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, you need to go get it checked because it's 10 years before the passing of your relative. Because we have an issue with rectal cancer. I think it's self-inflicted because of liver enzymes and alcoholism.
Okay.
I think they're related. I have zero statistical evidence to back that up.
Yeah.
But they've all had
surface information.
well, process of elimination. Like
Yeah.
they've all had alcohol issues.
Mhm.
They've all smoked. They were all overweight. And then they had rectal cancer, which ended up killing them.
So
It started as rectal cancer.
Gotcha. Like, in my family, we're just a bunch of alcoholics.
Oh,
Like
same.
The cirrhosis of the liver, and so that's self-induced. Like you don't pass on cirrhosis of the liver.
Yeah.
So
And that's what I was thinking, like, okay, I'm not too concerned about going to get a rectal exam. Like, they're going to find something. That's not what I'm concerned about. I'm just like, I'm thinking to myself, like, I feel like all their stuff was self-inflicted. Maybe that's just me trying to, like,
just
be okay.
Like you're okay with it.
Yeah,
right?
like to be okay with not getting an exam.
Right.
I'm like, theirs was self-inflicted. They're like, I don't do that stuff.
Yeah.
But in all reality, like, it needs to just get checked because it is hereditary.
Wow.
Despite all of that.
Cancer's hereditary. It's
Yeah. All right, let's chop it up.
yeah. I gotta try to get a haircut in.
Where are you? What do you got going on? What do you?
We got we got a cool. We have a SRU student that's gonna be interviewing us at Valor this today, and it's kind of cool. It's like a real. This is for her.
Is it for the YSRU? Is she part of the news group?
I don't know. I don't know if this is a class. I don't know if this is something that she wants to do. It's Brenda's daughter, Alexis. Remember Alexis?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So she's interviewing small business owners, entrepreneurs. So
Nice.
So it's gonna be cool because we love Alexis, and she's just she came up when we were coming up.
Yeah, she does a lot of the videography for you guys too, doesn't she?
It's a mixed. She did the last shoot, the vehicle course shoot.
Yeah.
That was pretty fun. She was there.
Okay.
For that.
I thought I saw her with her camera.
Yeah, she was getting B-roll for this interview, and then so she's gonna like bring them all together.
Filter it all in.
Mhm.
Oh, I can't
So
wait
she
to
gave
see
us-
that.
Yeah, she gave us like 20 questions, And it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be fun.
So she sent you the questions beforehand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'd rather not know. But she was just trying to be respectful.
You know, some people require that. I've reached out to some people to have on the podcast.
Really?
They ask you for the list of questions you want to ask.
Huh. Well, because
maybe agents want to know that.
Maybe there's things that they don't want.
They don't want to talk about.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And we just do it as like, hey, you don't want to talk about it, don't talk about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but you know that interaction back and forth. But anyhow.
Yeah.
It gets weird if you say, I don't want to talk about that. Well, why not?
Yeah. But we're not pushy.
Yeah.
We've been respectful
for sure.
People. But yeah, so and we have a shoot. We have a level 3 and a carbine course Saturday. Awesome. And so a lot of shooting, which is good. I'm glad people were finding ammo. And it's a good time. I love teaching. Love freaking
good
being out in the range.
Awesome. I don't have anything coming on right now. So make sure you guys check out the event over at Gracie Orwell, September 26th, the Zapatero Invitational, September 26th. Also check out Emil Fisher. He is defending his 205 light heavyweight brown belt, no gi belt at Fight to Win on Friday.
Nice.
So tonight,
ooh,
he's going to be doing that.
What time can they catch that somewhere?
I believe it's on Flow Grappling, even though it's hashtag #FFlow.
Yeah.
From Emil. You'll find it on Flow Grappling, and I'll shoot the links out whenever I put this up.
Cool.
All right, everybody, enjoy the journey. Thank you.
So the journey has begun. If you guys listening to our content today had any kind of value or you were moved in any way, please feel free to subscribe, pass it on, let everybody know that these two guys are the truth. They're out here just trying to do good things to make good people.